Thanks for joining us on Arirang News. I'm Kim Dami in Seoul. We begin in Paris. Team Korea has picked up the bronze medal in the mixed doubles table tennis, bringing home the country's first ping pong medal in 12 years. And South Korea has added one more bronze in judo, with Lee Jun-hwan defeating the world #1 from Belgium. South Korean tech giant Samsung Electronics has reported its second quarter operating profits jumped more than 15 times compared to a year ago. Now, all thanks to its solid performance in the chip industry. Israel claims that its airstrike in Lebanon's capital Beirut on Tuesday killed a senior Hezbollah military commander, who it blamed for the deadly attack in the Golan Heights over the weekend. Lebanon's Prime Minister Najib Mikati called Israel's strike a clear violation of international law. South Korea wrapped up day 4 of the Paris Olympics with 2 bronze medals in mixed table tennis and in men's under 81 kilogram judo. The third place finish in mixed table tennis also marked the country's first in the sport in 12 years. Our Lee Seung-jae starts us off.
It took 12 years, but South Korea finally added an Olympic medal in table tennis. It was in mixed doubles with Shin Yu-bin and Im Jong-hoon, ending the long drought by winning bronze. The Shin-Lim duo defeated Wang Chun-ting and Du Hoi-kem of Hong Kong in straight sets 4-0, winning their first career Olympic medals. The two fought for the third-place finish after falling short against the top-seeded mixed pair from China in Wang Chu-chin and Sun Yun-sha during the semifinals on Monday. The podium finish for Shin and Lim also allowed for a brief and rare Olympic moment where the South Koreans greeted and congratulated North Korean silver medalists Lee Jong-sik and Kim Geum-young. South Korea added another bronze medal on Tuesday, this time in the men's under 81 kilogram judo competition. Lee Jun-hwan became the world's third best under 81 kilogram judoka after defeating third in the world ranked Belgian judoka Matthias Kasse. Scoring a waza-ari or half point just 48 seconds into the sudden death extra period, Lee secured South Korea's second Paris Olympic medal in judo. Despite being his first Olympics, and despite being just 2 years away from his senior career, Lee expressed slight disappointment and vowed to train harder so that he can win an Olympic gold in Los Angeles in 2028. But the future is bright for the 22-year-old judoka, who the International Judo Federation has even nicknamed Lightning Man, saying he's so fast that he can win a match before the player introduction is over. Meanwhile, in their first ever final of an Olympic swimming relay competition on Tuesday, the South Korean men's 4x100-meter freestyle relay team finished 6th. The 4-member team of Yang Jae-hoon, Lee Ho-jun, Kim Woo-min, and Hwang Sun-woo finished with a final time of 7 minutes 7.26 seconds. Kim had earlier won a bronze medal in the men's 400 meters. With the 2 bronze medals on Tuesday, South Korea is now ranked 5th in the medal standing with 5 gold, 3 silver, and 3 bronze. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
South Korea's industrial output fell for the second straight month in June due to drops in the public administration and construction sectors. But spending and investment rebounded. Our Park Gon-woo tells us more.
Industrial output for South Korea dropped in June compared to the previous month, while spending and investment both saw increases. According to related data released by Statistics Korea on Wednesday, overall industrial production fell by 0.1% on month in June. That's the second total output drop in as many months. By sector, public administration and construction decreased by 5.1% and 0.3% respectively, dragging the total industrial output down as well. Statistics Korea says the lower output in public administration was due to earlier than usual budget executions made this year. But the agency pointed to the increases in the mining and manufacturing sectors, including chips and chemical products.
On the production side, semiconductors are booming because the demand outlook for IT devices is good and the AI industry is growing continuously. Exports for chips are good too.
Private spending rebounded 1% in June from May, making it the first time in 3 months that the country saw a rise in spending. That's attributed to greater sales in durable goods such as automobiles and semi-durable goods including shoes and bags. But data also showed that spending dropped by more than 3% compared to a year before, making it the fourth consecutive drop. Equipment investment increased by 4.3% in June on month. Investment in machinery, including special industrial machinery, rose by over 6%. 박건우, Arirang News.
Samsung Electronics has today made public its second quarter earnings report, which shows a booming memory chip market. Now, the company expects to see it continue into the latter half of this year. Moon Hae-ryun reports.
South Korean tech giant Samsung Electronics posted an earnings surprise for the second quarter of this year, seeing big gains in the memory chip sector. On Wednesday, the company reported an operating profit of 10.44 trillion Korean won between April and June, which is more than 14 times that of what was recorded in the same period last year. This equates to around $7.5 billion and comes following the firm's first quarterly earnings, which saw a surplus for the first time in 5 quarters. It's the first time in 10 quarters that the firm's quarterly earnings have surpassed 10 trillion won. By department, Samsung's DS division dealing with chips tallied 6.45 trillion Korean won in earnings due to strong demand for memory semiconductors such as high-bandwidth memory chips. Based on sales in this division alone, it overtook Taiwan's TSMC for the first time since the second quarter of 2022. The recovery in the market is seen as being a result of continued investment in artificial intelligence by cloud service providers and growing demand for AI in many businesses. The AI boom has also improved the company's foundry business sector, doubling its clientele in AI and high-performance computing as more orders came in for its state-of-the-art process technologies. Other than chips, the firm's MX division in charge of smartphones accounted for 2.23 trillion Korean won in operating profit, a decline from the previous quarter. Samsung Electronics attributed this to an overall decline in demand for premium smartphones, but stated that its Galaxy S24 series continued its success in shipments and revenue. Going into the second half of the year, the firm expects the memory chip market to continue flourishing. In turn, it plans to increase sales of its newest generation of HBM, the HBM3E. With its HBM3 chips cleared for use in NVIDIA's processors in China, analysts predict that the more sophisticated HBM3E chips could be given the green light for NVIDIA's other AI processors later this year and give the firm's earnings a boost for the third quarter. The overall demand for smartphones is also expected to increase in the third quarter of the year, as well as premium products integrating AI features. Moon Hae-ryun, Arirang News.
After the longest ever personnel hearing at the National Assembly, President Yoon has appointed a former journalist turned politician Lee Jin-suk as the head of the nation's broadcast watchdog. On Wednesday, Lee went straight to work at the Gwacheon government complex. Lee's appointment has seen a fierce backlash from the opposition parties at the National Assembly, but the Korea Communications Committee chair does not need to be approved by lawmakers and only needs a hearing before appointment. Meanwhile, President Yoon has appointed former Gyeonggi-do Province Governor Kim Mun-soo for the new Minister for Employment and Labor. Kim is also a 3-term lawmaker who last served as the chair of Presidential Economic, Social, and Labor Council. President Yoon also appointed new ambassadors. For Japan, Park Chul-hee, former chancellor of the Korea National Diplomatic Academy, and for Australia, former Admiral Shim Seung-sop. North Korean drones have been a major security concern for the South in recent years. And to better respond to these threats, the country has developed new laser weapons to intercept these drones. Our Peunji visited the weapons test site.
A drone catches fire and crashes into the sea. It was intercepted by a laser emitted by South Korea's newly developed high-energy laser weapon, about a kilometer away from the drone. At this testing center, South Korea has been developing these laser weapons to shoot down drones. It plans to start deploying and operating them by the end of this year. It has taken 5 years and cost around $63 million for South Korea to develop the new weapon, aimed at detecting and destroying small unmanned vehicles. Laser weapons are not only quiet and invisible, but they only need electricity to operate, making them cheap, costing less than $2 per shot. South Korea is expected to become the first country in the world to officially deploy and operate laser weapons.
We have successfully completed the research and development of an advanced laser weapon. By deploying the weapon in the near future, we will work to become a leading nation in this field.
Seoul's decision to develop and deploy laser weapons comes after Pyongyang's drone provocations in recent years. In 2014, North Korean drones equipped with digital cameras were discovered after crashing near the border in Paju City and Baekneungdo Island. Then in 2020, 5 drones from the north flew across the border and breached South Korean airspace, sounding an alarm over the security threats posed by unmanned vehicles. The laser weapon is designed to shoot down small drones for now, but the country plans to develop it in the future so that it can emit more powerful beams, strong enough to counter aircraft and ballistic missiles. Pezeshkian, Arirang News, Daean.
Israel has responded to last Saturday's attack that killed Israeli children on a football field by hitting a target in the Lebanese capital, Beirut. It says it targeted a Hezbollah commander in the Beirut airstrike. Choi Soo-hyung reports.
On Tuesday afternoon, local time, the Israeli military carried out a retaliatory airstrike in Beirut, the capital of Lebanon. This was in response to the bombing of a football field in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights on July 27th, which killed 12 children. The Israeli airstrike hit the southern suburb of Beirut, targeting a commander of Hezbollah, an Iran-backed militant group who Israel says was behind the football field bombing. Lebanese media reported that the airstrike killed 1 person and injured 68 others. Shortly after the Beirut airstrike, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant posted on X that Hezbollah has crossed the red line. The Israel Defense Forces stated that the targeted commander, Fuad Shukur, a senior military advisor to Hezbollah's leader, was killed in the Beirut airstrike. There are concerns that this airstrike could escalate into a full-scale war between Israel and Hezbollah. The United States news agency CNN reported that Israel informed the U.S. before the Beirut attack. Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati strongly condemned the attack, calling it a clear violation of international law. The international community is responding to prevent an escalation. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, peacekeeping forces under the UN, are communicating with both Lebanon and Israel to prevent any escalation. White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre said that a war between Israel and Hezbollah is not inevitable. Choi Soo-hyung, Arirang News.
On Tuesday, Masoud Pezeshkian was sworn in to start his 4-year term as Iran's new president, succeeding Ebrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash in May. The oath-taking ceremony took place in the Iranian parliament 2 days after the formal endorsement by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has the ultimate authority in Iran. Pezeshkian had won an election earlier this month with promises to pursue constructive and effective interactions with the world, which has led to hopes that Iran's ongoing antagonistic relationship with the West may ease. But Pezeshkian starts his term in office with tensions escalating over in the Middle East to chants of death to America and death to Israel. Pezeshkian said that those who supply weapons that kill children cannot teach Muslims about humanity, and added that his government would never succumb to pressure and sanctions. Now, the latest polls show that U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is maintaining her slight lead against presidential rival Donald Trump. A 3-day poll conducted by Reuters and Ipsos on over 1,000 American adults showed that 43% of registered voters supported Harris, while 42% supported former President Trump, within the poll's margin of error of 3.5 percentage points. In the same poll a week earlier, Harris had a 2 percentage point lead over Trump. The poll also showed that respondents preferred Trump's stance on the economy, immigration, and crime, while having favorable views on Harris in healthcare. Harris is set to be officially nominated as the Democrat presidential candidate during the party's national convention next month. There's a saying, the greatest treasures are often hidden in the most unexpected places. If you're looking to discover hidden talent in Asia's art scene, this is a place you might want to explore. Our culture correspondent Song Yujin tells us more.
This bright red building used to be the home of the National Theatre Company of Korea. Although it's currently closed for renovation, it has temporarily reopened as a gallery to showcase the work of promising young artists in Asia. This is the 2024 Asian Students and Young Artists Art Festival, or ASIAF, Korea's largest arts festival for emerging artists. This year, the festival is part of something even bigger. This year, it is launching the Culture Ministry's first Korea Art Festival, which officially starts in September. This festival puts ASIAF alongside the Gwangju and Busan Biennale's Seoul Art Week, Kiaf Seoul, and Freeze Seoul.
I have high hopes for young artists as their work tends to be freer, more experimental, and more fearless. This exhibition might give us a glimpse into the future of our art industry 10 or 20 years down the line.
For many participants, this festival marks the start of their professional journey as artists. The first step is always special, but ASIAF offers an even more unforgettable experience. These young talents handle everything themselves, from setting up their work on these white walls to selling and shipping their pieces to buyers. The process can be challenging, but it is a memorable chapter of their careers.
At my first ASIAF, I sold a painting of a turtle. The buyer had a pet turtle that passed away between buying my work and receiving it. They said they would cherish the painting, which touched my heart and made me feel they found the right home. That experience inspired me to participate again this year. Art fairs like this give us a chance to sell our work and get motivation.
For visitors, it's a chance to discover hidden talent and purchase unique pieces that connect with them at affordable prices.
I majored in art at university, but I didn't end up becoming an artist. Even so, I still have a strong passion for art. The pieces by these young artists are definitely bolder in terms of ideas and colors. I decided to buy a piece that resonated with the quiet, tranquil lifestyle I want.
The 2024 ASIAF runs at the old Pezeshkian Theater near the Seoul train station until August 25th. Song Yujin, Arirang News.
Let's take a look at the latest news in the world now. Mass protests broke out in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas, on Tuesday, following the disputed result of the country's presidential election, where President Nicolas Maduro claimed a re-election victory. Several deaths were reported, while Attorney General Tarek Saab said that 749 people had been detained, but that the number may rise further. Saab stated that several detainees are being charged with public intimidation, inciting hatred, and in some cases, terrorism. He also said that 48 officials, including members of the military and police, have been injured, some by gunfire. While the country's defense minister described the protests as a coup, the use of tear gas and rubber bullets alarmed the international community, with the United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk saying that he is extremely concerned and alarmed by reports of disproportionate use of force by law enforcement officials. Nicolas Maduro, who has ruled Venezuela for a quarter century, claimed he'd won a third term with 51% of the vote on Sunday, while independent exit polls showed a big opposition win. Moving over to India and its southern state of Kerala, where at least 123 people have been killed and dozens are still feared to be trapped after heavy rains collapsed hillsides and triggered massive landslides. Rescue work began in Kerala's Wayanad district in the early hours of Tuesday, where torrents of mud, water and boulders tumbled down, sweeping through the tea estates and villages. Local authorities reported that the hillsides near the village of Mundakai gave up after midnight following torrential rainfall on Monday. The Wayanad district of Kerala state is one of India's most popular tourist destinations. Most of the victims were reportedly tea estate workers and their families who are asleep. Tuesday's landslides in Kerala were the worst in the Indian state since 2018, when heavy floods killed around 400 people. Washington's top diplomatic and defense envoys have announced $500 million in military funding to boost the Philippines' defenses and the proposed military intelligence sharing pact as the two allies renewed their shared concerns over China's aggression in the region, especially the South China Sea. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on Tuesday met with the Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., who hailed the very open communication lines between Washington and Manila, while stressing the need for the U.S. military presence in the region for stability and peace. The funding will be used to assist with the ongoing modernization of the Philippine military and Coast Guard, while $125 million from the package will go towards improving the Philippine military bases set to be occupied by the U.S. forces under the 2014 Enhanced Defense Cooperation. Kim Seong, Arirang News.
Good afternoon. Following the end of the monsoon season, Korea is in the grip of simmering heat with heat wave alerts. Meanwhile, those in Gyeongsangdo provinces are enduring more intense heat, and Daegu should see a high of 37 degrees Celsius this afternoon. And burning sunshine continues to bake Korea, with Jeju forecast to see extreme levels of UV rays. So make sure to protect yourself against sunburn today. Drink plenty of water instead of caffeinated drinks. Avoid spending time outdoors during the hottest parts of the day. And take it easy. I'm sure it's been weeks since getting some decent sleep due to the warm nights. Seoul has been under tropical nights for 10 consecutive days, and this afternoon getting up to 33 degrees. Gyeongju topping out at 36 degrees Celsius. It looks like sweaty days and nights continue for the time being, so take care. With that in mind, let's take a look at the international weather conditions.
That's all we have at this hour. Arirang News will be back at 2 p.m. Korea time. Thanks for watching.